All right, so I got a few different iPhones right over here. Of course, we have the iPhone X on iOS 11, definitely one of my favorite devices. But one thing I've noticed over like the past several years as Apple has come out with new software updates is that they've actually removed a lot of features from the iPhone that a lot of people probably don't even remember. So on the first device here, of course, we have the iPhone X. And one of the first things I want to show you guys here is the Volume HUD. As you guys can see, it is literally right in the center of the display. This isn't just specific to the iPhone X, but I'm pretty sure Apple removed this in iOS 13. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this thing is literally like right in the center of the display and it takes up like the entire space. So I can see why Apple got rid of it. But yeah, this honestly does remind me of like the old days, you know, when you're just like swiping through YouTube or watching a video and you just gotta wait a few extra seconds for it to disappear. That definitely is very nostalgic, so pretty interesting to see. Okay, so the second thing I want to show you guys here from the thumbnail, as you guys might have seen, is the app switcher. So this phone actually has the old style app switcher for iOS 11, and it worked a little differently compared to the iPhone 14 Pro. So you actually had to hold down on the app itself, and then you would have to click the red circle until all your apps were closed. And this is a really interesting interface just because like you couldn't actually swipe out of anything. So it just simply would not work. And I'm actually kind of glad Apple got rid of this, because imagine having this on iOS 18 today. You know, it'd really be annoying just having to like manually exit out of every single app. Now, I do wish Apple had some sort of feature where you could just close everything all at once, but I'm sure there's reasons why they haven't introduced that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you guys is on the iPhone 7. This phone is actually running iOS 10, so this is pretty cool to see. I'm just going to go ahead and unlock this real quick. But this phone has the old style control center. I've showed this a couple times on my channel. This control center was only offered by Apple in one software version. So from iOS 10.0 up to the last version of iOS 10, you could actually use this really weird control center. It had like two panels, you'd have to swipe. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little buggy at times. I made a video on this in the past as well if you guys want to see this in more detail, but yeah, it was a very weird interface and I'm glad Apple got rid of it, but it makes a lot of sense as to why Apple got rid of it, just because with iOS 11, they introduced the completely revamped control center that we know and love today. So who knows, maybe that control center could be changing in a future software update. Okay, so the next feature that I want to show you guys here is called 3D Touch. I'm sure you guys may remember this. 3D Touch was pretty much like a pressure sensitivity sensor. I don't know if that's a correct word, but basically it measured how much pressure you're putting on the display of the iPhone. So the more pressure you put on the display, as you guys can see, it would actually detect and kind of feel like you were clicking a button. You guys can see I'm just gonna go a little slow there and then just press down just like that. This was one of my favorite features. I just remember it being like 2019, 2020, and you know, in the morning time, sometimes I just want to use my phone as a flashlight. It literally felt like I was physically like pressing a button, and I thought that was a really cool feature that Apple had added. But nowadays we don't have 3D Touch. It's been replaced with Haptic Touch, which works in a very similar way, except it does not measure pressure sensitivity. So no matter how light you press, you know, you can press really hard or you can press really light. It's still gonna work either way. Okay, so the next feature I want to show you guys here is the Parallax Effect. So I made a video on this specific effect like a few weeks ago, and it's kind of been on and off. Like sometimes it works on the latest iOS, sometimes it doesn't. I know some people have actually managed to get this working on the latest iOS 18 betas, but yeah, Parallax Effect really worked well on some of the older iPhones. You guys can see here on the iPhone X, it is a little hard to see, so I'm gonna see if I can get our screen recording to show you guys there, but this was a cool feature. It's like one of those things that I'm sure not a lot of people notice. Okay, so last but not least, this one is lock screen in music. As you guys may remember, back in the day, you were not able to get the full screen album size artwork on your lock screen for the longest time, and I believe in iOS 16 Apple changed that. So I thought that was really cool just because it brings back a piece of nostalgia from our old iOS days, back when, you know, it would just show the entire album art no matter what. So I thought that was a really cool feature, but I believe from like iOS 11 up to 16, they took that feature out, but I'm glad that it's back. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something new. There's probably like a ton more features that have been removed by Apple over the years, but honestly, these were some of my favorite ones. And you know what? I'm gonna add one more here as well. Take a look at this. This is the old Siri, as you guys can see. Back in the day, when you turned Siri on, it would actually like completely cover up the display. And yeah, like the interface just looks so cool. Hey Siri, Let's see if that works. Okay, you know what? We're probably not going to do that because I think your guys' phones are probably going off right now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys on the next one.